today is I have to move the car day. So what happens is that today is the 17th of July 17th, and so I gotta move the car because if I don't move the car, then these guys come along. It's the day when they actually do the street sweeping, so I have to move the car. So I see them. I see them. So we have to do here in New York. We have to do this thing where we have to move the car, right? And turn this thing off real quick. Let's see what's going on and make sure the Bluetooth's off on this thing, because otherwise it's gonna read the Bluetooth on my phone. Okay, good. It's not. Okay, good. All right. I'm gonna go and move this car, and there goes music. Okay, cool. All right, so here I go. I see them. They're approaching. Ready? Here we go. So you're probably wondering, like, why? Okay, well, you know, because today is would be day 34, right? With me and my the whole thing with the separation anxiety thing. But I'm going to talk about that later, so don't worry about that. I always make it into shorts. Today I'm going to talk to you about a couple things. I'm going to do some sculpting. I'm going to see if I can move the car. A little bit of a sore throat. So. That was a bad turn, mister. That was a very bad turn. Not me. Yeah, it's a guy. See, I drive 10 and 2, so I'm looking grainy. It's a low wash. Don't know how to fix that one. I gotta fix it. Sometimes they say there's a reset button for these things. So I just gotta learn the pattern and stuff, you know? So here am I. Gonna make a left turn. Okay, so for the most part though, yeah, it's gonna take the turn, but I decided not to because this guy's walking and then this truck is approaching, and so if I take the, I miss one, hit the other, kind of thing. Hit one, miss the other. Take the opportunity. Okay, so the reason I wanted to go live today, because one, I haven't gone live in a while. I thought, it'd be kind of cool to talk to you people, my friends, how things are going, and so to give you a heads up. So yeah, this is me. I wake up like this. This is what I look like when I wake up. So I just jumped up and I was up working on all the stuff for tonight's art event. So I have an art event that I'm going to be doing at a place called Brooklyn Monarch, and it's Monarch, and it's an event called Pancake and Booze. No, I don't drink, and I like pancakes, but it's like, the thing is, it's going to be from 7 o'clock to 11 o'clock tonight, and so that's going to be over in the Brooklyn area. So I live in Queens, so the thing is, like, what I'm going to be doing is that I'm actually going to, I have four sculptures I'm going to put up there, right? And so 4 sculptures and paintings and stuff, so I'm going to do a really cool thing with that. So what I'm looking for right now, I'm looking to find some parking, not too far from the house, where I can actually park and not like that'd be too far away, but I want to definitely thank you all for being here today. I'm gonna park over here. Looks like a nice spot. Yes, nice spot, so I can actually start sculpting. All right, cool. So I'm gonna do some sculptures and talk with you guys as we sculpt. Got a nice spot right here. Got a nice spot, and it's not too far from my house, so that's great. So I'm gonna spend like maybe an hour, because that's what I usually do whenever I do a live. I do about an hour conversation, and I read what you guys have to say to me too as well. So I'm really just happy to be here. Thank you all for for coming to my show today. So we're gonna go ahead and hit the curve. I'm gonna go ahead and pop your tires right here. Perfecto. All right. So got a lot of gas. We can have the air conditioning on, but I probably won't, because you know why? Save that gas. Don't let the car idle. This car's been a really cool car. We've actually been doing a lot of stuff to repair it lately. I was showing you guys before yesterday about the whole thing with the bushing. The window works. Right. I'm gonna turn this car off real quick. Thank you, Jesus. All right, let's talk. Let's have a good conversation, shall we? Let me widen the screen out a little bit. Okay, cool. Yes, I'm wearing my pajamas. All right, so this is like the shirt. I got this shirt from pretty much one of my friends. His name is Andy Golub, and so he does all the body painting type stuff. So, but anyway, so what happens is that I have one of these sculptures here, and with the sculpture, I'm just turning the sculpture into this kind of thing here. So I'm gonna be like that when it gets done. So there you got that, right? So you got this. So what happens? I'm gonna be like just kind of finishing this one up, and then I have another sculpture to work on. So this is another sculpture that I'm gonna be working on to present tonight at the Pancake and Booze. Right? Again, I don't drink. you know. And it's kind of hard to kind of advertise for something that you don't support, because there's a long story about that, why I don't drink. And but for the most part though, I'm naturally like this, so I don't use any drugs, I don't really drink. And so that's really cool, because the reason I always want to be present and clear. All my life I've never drank, never smoked, never drank, never do anything like that. And so what happens is, like, what I'm gonna do, use it as an example. And see, the thing is this, right? It's like when you have an opportunity to do like an art event, right? The thing about when you do art events is that you have to kind of think about what you want to accomplish, you know? And I mean, there's several things going on. One, I was blessed to actually have 4 commissions before I came here today, or before I'm going here tonight, right? So what happens is, like, one of my supporters, who loves my art, what happens is she requested to buy some more art. So that's really cool. So I already kind of going in tonight knowing that my art's gonna be, I already have already paid for. So I'm really glad for, so that's something there. You don't have to cover all the events and expenses. So that's one, that's great. Even though it's a separate event, I know that, for example, that this person loves the art that I make, and so I personally like the art I make too. So I have a hard time letting go of anything regarding this, because it's like, my whole forte and 5K and idea of this whole thing is just like my art is one of those things that I just really enjoy making. And because I like making stuff, it's like one of those things that it's one of those things where I just enjoy it. I just really enjoy it. So this one here, I'm gonna kind of work on his eyes a little bit here. I don't have any of my paints with me, but I'm gonna see if I can make them match the colors of the one I have in my head. So they're good like that. So remember, like in the picture is this one, right? It's gonna have this one here. Let's see, like, all right, see that? Cool. So that's what I'm looking at. Then I'm gonna work on the gremlins. I'm just gonna make this little eyes real quick, because I've been working on this like since yesterday. And honestly, the hardest thing in the world is to find inspiration. The reason why is because, I know I already made stuff, but you kind of make it for different purposes. One thing you make because you want to make it, Another thing if you make something because you have to make it. Another thing if you make something because somebody asked you to request a sculpture. The hardest thing to make, honestly, is something you've never seen before. That is the hardest thing, because the things that comes out of my head, right, when I think about stuff, is like those things are kind of like, they have such a high level for me, because those things are something that nobody's seen yet, that I haven't made yet, and it's just like one of those things where it's in my mind, and it's just like, so when somebody asks me they want to buy that, like one time there's the person, they bought a gremlin for me, right, and I had the hardest time in the world getting rid of that gremlin, because it was, at that point, that gremlin had gone on many journeys with us. See, the thing is, whenever I make something, right, there's a good chance that thing's not going to get sold, because like what happens is that, because I end up having it go on a journey with me, And the reason I'm saying this is because, I remember the time when I made that sculpture, and I even think about it sometimes, because I remember, I have a couple of pictures of it, obviously, and I have it on my YouTube, my Instagram, and that one we went to visit my wife's mother, and that was a long trip. The first time my family and I did a trip to Florida, driving, and it was one of those family road trips, the family road trip where everybody climbs into the car and we all go together and we're all sitting in the vehicle, and after that we're just kind of like, we're just kind of traveling all the way down to Florida, and we made many stops. And so that was a very interesting trip. We started in the middle of the night and we had to stop right away because we just got to New Jersey, and we had to stop because the car was like leaking. Our mechanics, our beloved mechanics, I wish I knew then what I knew then what I know now, because what happened was, like, I didn't know how to do an oil change, or at least for that car. I've seen it before, but after that, because what happened, we were leaking oil, right? We were leaking oil all the way from New York all the way to like Florida, and we were dripping oil. It was kind of one of those things where we didn't know what to do, and we were like, okay, well, I don't know, a wise person would have been like, well, because we had like a short window. We always have a short window of things we have to kind of accomplish in a certain amount of time, right? We always got a short window, and we have to kind of do certain things. So with seeing that it was only a single oil drop, and there was no other problem. It wasn't like a single oil. It was kind of a pattern oil drop, like something was leaking out of a pipe, And so I don't know what was in our heads, honestly, because that was kind of like, that was a little crazy when I think about it now. But for the most part, though, my wife and I, we did the trip. We did the entire trip all the way down to Florida, but as we were going, we were putting oil in it, so we're keeping the oil pressure, stabilized, or keeping the oil pressure from leaking too much. So what ended up happening was that we got all the way to Florida, and we went to the first AutoZone we could find, because we were thinking, well, we just got the oil change. Because we just got the oil change, right? And so whatever oil we had enough to drip all the way from there to, the thing. And then when we got back to when we got to Florida, went to the place in Jacksonville, I think Jacksonville on the way down, because we took I-95 down. So when we got to Jacksonville, it was one of those things where we were like, can you guys help us? Went to the nearest AutoZone, or that was the Jiffy Lube, and the Jiffy Lube was like, well, you have an oil leak, so they gave us some oil, and that helped us out to get to our destination. We went to go visit my wife's mother. And so during that time, we were just kind of just struggling, trying to get there. We couldn't buy like a little quart of oil, or a quart of oil, and just driving down. And every so often, when we looked at every so often we would think approximately how long it would take, and then we put another quart. And we never had the check engine or the oil light come on. And until we went all the way down, did our trip, and heading back up now is when we had the oil light come on. And that's the first time. That was when we were in Virginia on the way back up. But we managed to do the whole trip, managed to do the entire trip. We went all the way down there. We did all the stuff we needed to do, and we were able to come back all before all before we changed the oil. And we met the same people, same car mechanics who put the oil in the wrong the first time, right? They put the oil filter. What was it? Well, they put the oil filter wrong, right? And Jiffy Lube could have fixed that for us. Jiffy Lube could have, but the guy was like, well, he committed to the goal of willing to charge us for something. And I learned that lesson because I saw where it was dripping from. It was dripping from the oil filter, right? And it wasn't dripping from outside the car or a hole that was made in the car. No, it was a stinking oil filter, and I didn't know then how to change my own oil, right? I didn't know how to change it then, and that cost us about $40 to do the oil change, right? $40. And we did it, and we were hoping that they did it right the first time. But what ended up happening, they didn't do it right the first time. We trusted these people, and they didn't do it right, And that's become the nature of the story. So the last couple of days, what's happened is like we took the car to several different shops, and each shop we know what was wrong with the car. The first thing, we knew there was a clanking sound in the car, right? So we took it to Pep Boys, right? There's a Pep Boys down by not far where we live, and so what happens is like a Pep Boys. And we went there, and when we got there, they say, "Oh, we can't fix that problem with the car, the clanking sound. You got to go to, got to go to Billy down the block." So we went to Billy down the block because a friend of mine recommended me that I go to these Pep Boys, right? Because I actually went there and they fixed the front two tires for us and they aligned us and stuff. They gave us alignment, which is what we needed for this car, and we're hoping that would solve the problem. But no, it continued to clank, right? So anyway, so what happened was like we decided to just kind of go on to the next level and see what happens. So then maybe they could fix it, but so they said, no, we can't. Go to this person here. So we went to that person there, and that person said, no, we can't fix it. You're in the wrong place. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So they sent us back to the place right next to AutoZone, right? And this is where our time gets kind of wasted, because what happens is like we went to, that was on the Pep Boys. Went by Pep Boys, and so it was like this. We went to Pep Boys. Pep Boys sent us over here, right over here. And then we went to that person, said, no, we can't do it. So they sent us over here, right back next to the Pep Boys. There's another store next to Pep Boys that can fix the car, or so they say. So anyway, so what happens was like, the guy was like, well, we're going to order the parts. And then, yeah, when I order the parts for you, it's going to be, what do you call it? It's going to be, it's going to be here. And don't worry about it. It's going to be good. And, he can order it. So he went to order it, and they gave us a price for it. So we put like a $200 deposit down, we're ready to fix this car thing. And then so we're sitting there because that kind of holds us up, because this car has to make that trip to go pick up the kids, So this is the car we have to use to pick up the kids. We did a rental last time, but rentals are very expensive, and it's just not practical. Because I have to stay there for the whole week, right? Because when I go pick up the kids, we have to I have to make a whole big shindig out of it, because we can't just go and come back, It's a lot of money to go and come back, So that's something there. So with all these things being said, this is the scenario we're doing. We took the car to another mechanic, because the guy he realized that he couldn't help us, and he made us sit there for a week waiting, because we gave it to him on a Tuesday, and by the following Tuesday he didn't have any parts for us. He didn't have any parts. Let me write this out a little bit. By the following Tuesday, he didn't have any parts for us, right? So what happened was he didn't. So he realized the frustration, because it's been a whole week. I mean, you go to the mechanic, you get the car fixed in a day, right? Unless of course you're trying to figure out, what in the world, right? Unless you figure out what in the world am I gonna do, because at the end of the day, you're like, okay, I got to figure this problem. I got to solve this problem, because if I don't solve this problem, I'm not going to be able to, proceed with my life. So anyway, so what happened was like we took the, I don't know what I just said, I was just rambling, I guess. Okay, so what happened, I just like pretty much had this thing where we got the car out, we went to another shop, and the guy said, you know, we took it up, we figured out what the part's wrong. We looked at it, watched a lot of online videos, tried to figure out how to do this ourselves. And I'm just like, okay, this is a lot of moving parts. I don't understand how to make it work. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna have to take it to another garage, you know, in the garage to have it fixed. So my wife, wife and I went to a local garage, which is not too far from our house, and we asked them, and he said, oh, okay, that's not a problem. He showed the pictures, he put it up on a jack. You know, he said, oh, gotta negotiate the price. And so that was the whole weekend thing. So no, up to this minute, he hasn't spoken to us yet. That's why yesterday, when you saw the video of us on day 33, we decided to go and take matters into our own hands and go find the, you know, go find the stuff, you know. Let me see, what does it say? Chat filter, top messages, all messages. All right, cool. I'll show all messages. So what happens is this, right? So we decided to go and take matters into our own hands and decide to solve the problem ourselves. So what we ended up doing was that we actually went and found the parts, like you saw in the AutoZone. We went and bought the parts, and we had to go to 2 AutoZones to get the similar parts. One for the right side, one for the left side. So now we have both sides, right? Costs us a bit of money, but not as expensive as it would be to, you know, pay for mechanics to get you the money, get you the part. And also we have the warranty, which is great because, you know what happens? I find that if you buy the part and something goes wrong, you have a warranty, and especially with AutoZone, you have a Duralast guarantee. And so this is not a sponsor or anything like that, but I mean, you know, I'm not sponsored by AutoZone, but I'm always there. So, you know, that'd be great if I could get sponsored by them, but this is not a sponsor video, so that's something there. But for the most part, though, yeah, so we're always kind of like working on stuff. So you have this, you got this, right? This and this. And so what happens is, like, we have, up to this moment, we haven't fixed the car yet. We haven't done the due diligence to fix the car of all of its ailments and all of its woes. So because tonight I have the art event, and I'm like, you know what, if I go take this car to a shop, the guy might hold the car for a couple days or whatever, and I can't afford to, because tonight I have to get this thing done, set up my stuff, and I have to leave in time. So I want to be as chill as possible, because all too often when I go to these art events, it takes me such a long time to decompress, and I got to be there early. Early to set up my stuff, early to finish up all these things that I'm working on, right? All these things. Because at the end of the day, you know, it's an event that I want to go to. I have a friend of mine, he wants to like do body painting when we get there. So it's like, I'm like, oh my goodness, you know, it's just like, it's just the thing. He just loves to be body painted. It's just interesting. I mean, I guess everybody likes it who does it. However, it's like, you know, I'm kind of there on a different mission, but you know, I don't know. It's one of those things, you know, how life is. You kind of end something, and some people, like, everybody has a plan for you, you know. So this is like here, and this is the boom, boom, right? That's one. Now, I'll take this opportunity and work on a gremlin, because this guy here seems to be pretty much done. I might put a little fin on the back of his tail. That way it's kind of really cool. So he has like a finny type thing on his back of his tail. I should make another one of these, because these ones are kind of like, this took me actually a pretty long time to make, which is unusual for me. I think I've been thinking of a lot of stuff. I've been listening to I didn't want to say it, but you know, oh goodness, you know, I think they should, I'll say it real quick. I think they should release the files, okay? Because that's what the situation is going on. We've all, the people who voted for him, they voted for him to drain the swamp, and this is definitely a drain the swamp experience, drain the swamp moment, and if he doesn't do it, then he's complicit. I'll talk more about that in another video. I'll probably make a separate video just for that, but for the most part, I just wanted to say that. My piece is that he should do it. He's under obligation to do so, so he can't escape that, no matter how, you know. So, you know what I'm saying. The list. Release Epstein list. That's what I'm saying. Release it. Release it. Release it. Release it. We need to know who these people are, so we can deal with them as humans. Because for too long, society has dealt with wickedness and let wickedness slide. It's time we deal with all of it. So yes. So there's that. So here's a little tail part of his tail. Here's this, like this, right? Here's that. I'm gonna fix up his eyes a little bit. I'm gonna fix up so that it's like not just, you know, randomly. So this is like, you know. This is like one of my favorite creatures to make, the Diplocalus, because one, it's an extinct creature. Two, because it's extinct, I get a chance to like really kind of embellish it and do stuff with it. You know, like if you have like a thing, and it's not like, you know, it's not like one of those things where it's like you have what's the word? You have like a what's the word? And like, okay, like, you know, and the thing is, I'm not making something that's already there, and so this is something that's of my own IP. So this, so I'm starting to like it, and so that's what could be posed as a problem, because whenever I start making something I like, it's hard to sell. So anyway, so again, I already have like a couple commissions already cooked up, so I'm really excited about that. So that's something there. I'm going to work on a gremlin at this point, and you're going to see me work on the gremlin just as quick as I can because time is going away from me. So I have to kind of be quick about stuff, you know? I don't want to put that there. Okay. So, yeah, so I got to definitely kind of work on it. So here goes, I made his little eyes, little eyebrows, little eye hood, right? He's like, that's what he does. So I'm going to go ahead and make this little part of his jaw come out a little further. And, oh, I can use that. Okay, good. Just dropped it. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so then next week we have a class coming up, and I'm really excited about that. We have, on a Tuesday, my daughter's going to be the model, so that's going to be fun. On Wednesday, I have another friend of mine who's going to be a model, and that's going to be great too. So I'm looking forward to that. Right now we're at 20 minutes, and so I'm going to see if I can spit out this gremlin in an hour, because if I do that, then I'll be able to accomplish all my major goals and be able to accomplish that which I want to do. So then I'm in the process of trying to get more people to come and join my class. I'm really excited about that. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how it's going to happen. I don't know if it's going to happen at all. All I know is that, so be it. The die has been cast, the lie has been cast, and so here, just waiting for somebody to show up and do that stuff. So that's not tonight. So for example, like I am interested in how people actually set up events, and people can show me how to do that, because I mean, some people have notoriety and people just come to events for whatever. But I mean, you gotta pay big money. I mean, like I had to pay big money to go to this thing tonight. You know, it's not like I just walked up in there like, okay, I can come in here tonight. No, I gotta pay like, you know, it's $75 dollars, you know, for everything, because you had to pay for your entrance fee, and you had to pay for your things fee, and you had to pay for your stuff. So it's one of those things where you pay. So you're hoping to get that money back. Okay? So anyway, back to what I was saying before. Yeah, I really think that they should do that, but my thought is the reason why they haven't already. Well, I don't want to get into that. That's not for this video. This video is about sculpting and chat and stuff like that. I'll tell you about the anxiety situations things we've been working on. Goodness, I got one of my eyelashes. I can't guarantee that when I make a sculpture, it won't have any of my DNA in it. So, like, for example, like my eyelashes are in my hair, you know. But definitely you'll have my soul. So you have enough to make a little doll. Because you have my heart and my soul, and you got pieces of my DNA. Definitely my skin touching this. So yeah, that's why it's all a little personable. You know, I can't get into that whole labubu thing. I ain't touching it. It looks wicked. All right, I said it. All right, cool. So whenever somebody, they have their stuff, no. I've seen them and I'm like, what is wrong with these people? Why are people buying stuff that's just like a craze? I don't know. Whatever. So whatever. For the most part though, let's see. Let's just let the sound go. Anybody have any questions in the chat for me? Anybody want to talk to me about stuff? Because I love talking to people about things. I'm trying to answer your questions. So definitely let me know how to answer your questions. Is this one? Yep. Okay. Let me just this little thing. I make his nose. Yeah, make his nose a little bit more nosy. I wonder if I should make eyes or just eyeballs. Like eye stalks. Oh, this is cool. I like him. All right, so I'm gonna leave him here on the side so you watch him, and then I'm gonna just go ahead and just finish up and start working on the next guy. He's like, yeah, look at you. I'm telling you, this is such a cool, very cathartic thing. So, okay, so my Monday was my daughter and I, we went to work on a yard, all right? And so work on the yard, it was like pretty cool because it's been one of those things where we've been doing this for, my son and I, we used to do that. And before that, my dad introduced me to it. And after that was like, my son came with me. My dad and I went on one time. Then after that, I had to take care of it without him. And so I brought my son, and my son has done it several times now, where we clean up the yard for a person. So my wife is like thinking that maybe that'd be kind of a cool business we could do, like a yard business. But but you know how it is. You can't use regular tools for commercial type things. Commercial things take a lot of energy, and also you destroy your tools. So because you do a commercial endeavor, so you have to get commercial type of tools. So you have to go all out. So if you want to do like a yard service type thing, you really, really, really have to do the whole yard thing and have all the equipment and stuff like that, And so that's the thing. Imagine that. That's like the greatest thing would be like yard work in Florida. That'd be like the best because you'd have endless work. But then again, that's not how you want to do things, I mean, there is a way to do that, you know. You don't want to be the one swinging the axe. You want to be the one that's, that's making the axe for sale. Of course, the garbage truck is gonna stop right by me. Why? Because that's how life is. Okay. Whatever you're doing, somebody got to come up and take your sound. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Garbage Truck, for leaving. I appreciate that. It's like, there's no build up to the garbage truck. It just stopped right there. So yeah, these guys who do garbage truck stuff, I mean, they're what do you call it? They're tough people. I gotta admit. We went to this thing at the Hall of Science the other day. My wife and kids time. We went there when all the kids were with us, and before they went up to camp and stuff, or to get to work, they had a thing where this guy's looking really nice now. I like him. He's nice and balanced. Before I was like, eh. Now I'm like, okay, nice design, look really good. So what happened was, like, in the, yeah, look at him. He looks great. Looks just like his picture. So that one, comparatively speaking, looks just like his picture. Yes. I have to give him a little more girth right here under his armpits, and after that he will be complete, ready for painting or whatever I'm going to do in the time that I have left, because this is like, I have to prepare. I don't want to get too overwhelmed. I tend to do that. I tend to be the person who, when I get to go do something, I start making a bunch of stuff, and then I was like, oh, I don't know why I waste all my time doing that, or so I gotta just figure out how to do stuff that'll, very simple. Okay, so the inner happened, so I'm going to widen them up a little bit, give them a little bit more, because when I apply the paints, it's going to be more interesting. So I'm going to finish with him in a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and do the work on the gremlin. So this is the thing. So if I do this right, I can actually make him look like he's going to stand up. So like that, with his feet bent. That way you can put him on the thing, he can actually stand up. Yeah, he looks cool standing up. Well, I haven't eaten breakfast yet, so I just said, let me go and move this car. So it's going to be incumbent upon me required upon me to get this thing done as quick as I can before I run out of energy and pass out. But no, I'm not going to pass out. Just hungry. But I had like a busy night last night. I just did so many things. Just like, I'm gonna make his feet bigger, because what I hear is like his hands are bigger than his feet, proportionally speaking. So I'm gonna definitely just make his feet a little bit bigger. Then I'm gonna go and work on the gremlin part. See, so this is the one here. This is this. This is this. Yeah, this, and then this. Yeah. He has no teeth. This is like no teeth. It's just enough. Yeah. Make sure you get it. So, yeah. All right. So where we at? Yeah. So this is the kind of thing. So yeah, definitely, I was gonna work on that. Let me just get this guy here done. So here, I'm gonna make the feet a little bit bigger. I'm just gonna extend all the toes, make it all bigger and stuff like that too. So. Yeah, this is the cool thing about this masking tape art, by the way. You can do this anywhere, and I know I said this 1,000 times and everything, but it's true. It really is true. You don't have to be locked into one location. You can actually be all over the place, and when you do that, you can actually, you can make stuff anywhere. And so because of that, is the versatility of it all. The only thing is, like, one thing is hard to do. This is gonna be difficult, because I know tonight, right, there's gonna be like a lot of like things trying to react to. So I have to just get my mind ready, because and those who are listening, you gotta get your mind ready and just be totally chill. Just doing this here. Let's open the windows a little bit. It's kind of get a cross breeze. Okay. I just really nice shower last night. It was great. So, anyway, so the thing is, when you do these things, right, you have to like have the wherewithal to be like, okay, I gotta be able to handle anything that comes down the way, or just be able to respond to it. That means I have to have a real good positive attitude. And so it's just like you just don't know what to expect. I just know I have a ton of things that I need to work on, and this being one of them. And having that as a mindset, just knowing that I have to, do such and such and such before I go, and then I'm going to deal with people. I meet people who I've never met before, who want to know about my art, and it'll be all about that, you know. So I just got to determine how I want to do this. Maybe for the first hour, I'll do that, you know. Maybe I don't know. I'll figure something. Maybe for the first hour, just kind of determine what I want to do. Set up base camp and start talking to people. Just be chill. I think I'll just get a chill mindset. I'm just gonna just relax. This is an opportunity, because I mean, like, next week it's a class. I'll be teaching the class, and teaching a class takes a lot more energy than actually presenting my art. The thing about presenting art is that I could just tell a story, you know, and have different stories, and it's just a matter of determining what 4 pieces I want to bring with me, you know, or have do this thing, because that's kind of where it's at, you know. Determining what is the best thing to do. So that's kind of how it is, you know. I mean, what do you do when you want to do a big program or a big event? What is the thing that you do? How do you prepare for that, you know? Like, for example, like, if you've done presentations, like, you know, I've done many presentations of talking, I try to kind of go over my stuff to where I know it without thinking about it, you know. That's one. The other one is, like, when I have like a presentation, you know, like these, for example, I try to make as many things and side designs as I can, because what happens is that I'm not sure exactly what the best thing to do is, and because I mean, one sculpture, a little cat sculpture could you know, give me the money I need to pay for the table, or, you know, or one little picture, or I can bring a gremlin and I can get a commission. And so it's like there's so many different things from it, you know. So I think what I might do, I might work this really well. Okay, I have a couple ideas, but definitely this gremlin, I gotta make this gremlin work. That's one. Gremlin has to work. So I'm gonna have a gremlin for sale on the wall tonight. And we're gonna have some of my other art pieces that I haven't discussed yet to be on the wall too. And so when I do that, I'm gonna have I have like Argus or something and sitting in the chair. So I just gotta bring a few things. Maybe everything I can fit into a book bag. Really bring it all down to simplicity. Have my card reader machines, you know, and my camera. Because, you know, when these are one of the events where you have to record. I like to record all my events. That way I have like a reference in the future. I might do it this time, might not. Might do a live, who knows. But sometimes live is unreliable. Sometimes you lose everything on the live because it just glitches or something. And I hate that. I hate that more than anything. When you're doing a live something, you can't get it back and it glitches. That's terrible. So yeah. Alright, so here we go. So I made the feet a lot bigger. You have bigger feet now, right? A bigger tail. Definitely, you know, a little creature. And so, you know, I think I get my inspiration from, I was thinking about like that movie, the Frozen 2, with a little fire salamander, right? That was pretty cool. A little fire, but he was blue, and he had no horns, you know. But this guy here, this is not even a real amphibian. These Diplocolids, right? Diplocoli or whatever, colitis. Anyway. And then so what happens is, that, you know, these are like an interesting like creature. And so being interesting creatures, it's one of those things where, you know, it's just like, you know, I think it's cool, because I saw that one, but in the Museum of Natural History, they had the hammerhead salamanders, Diplocoli, is it Magnicornis? No, Magnicornis. Magnicornis is I think it's Magnicornis? Yeah, I think it's Magnicornis. And so, it's one of those creatures that's pretty cool. So yeah, so this one I'm pretty much done with. I think I got him where I like it, and I think he can stand if I put him on a pedestal, right? But he's not gonna just be standing. Keep me out, you know? So make sure it fixes his mouth so it doesn't like teeth. Just kind of give it a little once over. Then we're gonna go hit him with some seal. Then we're gonna hit him with some paint. And that's where it's like, you know, so this one took about 30 something minutes just to kind of perfect it, because before when I started he didn't have his eyes, and now he does. Okay, so there's that. Make this one smooth piece. You know, I enjoy teaching these, but by the way, this is one of those things I just really love doing. Honestly, I could do this all day, and pretty much I have done it all day. So, alright, so for the most part though, this is kind of the thing. So, yeah, I would love to go to the beach. This is definitely a nice beach day, 92 degrees, and so, you know, just forsake the thing and go, you know, Go to the beach with my family. Because all week I've been keeping them like, just kind of giving them stress about stuff because I'm getting ready for this and the next week. That's the thing about when you do like these events, it takes you away from like your family. Honestly, it's like, you have to ask yourself, what do you do these events for? I do them because I believe that I want the world to see what the art that I have. That's one. But at the same time, though, I like it when my family goes with me, and in this case, my family can't go with me, right? My older kids can't go with me, my wife can't go with me, and I have to go to work when I get done afterwards. So it's a series of like, a lot of decisions, and I definitely need the car. That's why I couldn't take the car to repair, because if we took the car to repair, I wouldn't have a car to make the trip. And one time I did a trip like this. I kid you not. Went over to location, phone, everything, set up base camp, and it was like I had to, by the time I got there, I had like 1 hour, just 1 hour to do everything in 1 hour, and that was like crazy. I said to myself, I don't ever want to do that again. I don't ever want to put myself in that kind of situation, that kind of build up or breakdown, because it took me like an hour just to get. But that was the same like last year. It was last year, the same time when the president got got pew-pewed at, right? There was a situation where that was the same day I was doing my art, right? And last year, and so this was like something where I'm just kind of thinking the thoughts. That's why I'm like I just stopped and thought for a second. I'm just thinking about thoughts how people like want to do stuff. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's a chill time to chill. I don't know. Well, gotta determine what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna head for that as a goal. So because if you don't head for it as a goal, what happens? Somebody else has goals for you. So definitely you don't want to put yourself in a situation. Also the Jersey Devil. The Jersey Devil, from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. That's what it looked like. That's the thing. Oh, I forgot his signature piece. All my creatures have like their super long tongue, because what happens is like not all of them, but majority of them have a super long tongue. So I'm gonna give him a tongue too. Yeah, gonna give him a mouth and then. Yep, featured. All right. Okay, so let me just go ahead and then finish him up. Okay, so this guy here is officially done, right? He's officially done for now, except for his tongue and his eyes, which I'm gonna make the tongue really quick, and then after I make the eyes, maybe I'll just make the tongue. No, I'll make the tongue. Yeah, all right. It's gonna be his tongue. Because one thing I always thought was really cool, the lizards and stuff like that, how they would like just they would come and lick their eyeballs, whenever there was like and stuff like that. I had the geckos, and I'm like, and lick his eyeballs to clean it. Clean the lens. I was like, ew. Does he ever spit it out? No, he just licks his eyeball. And that was gross. Right there, just lick it. That was cool. All right, so let's talk about something, shall we? Let's talk about life. My whole take on this whole thing. I'm just thinking. Oh goodness, I'm deep in thought. Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just attach his tongue. This is his tongue. Because you know what, the coolest thing on an amphibian is their tongue and their jumping abilities and the fact they can go over land and water. Those are the cool things. Reptiles, their cool thing is that their skin can survive any kind of environment, except for the super cold. And that's debatable because, they said gators can actually do the ice cold stuff, so that's a different thing altogether. And pretty much dinosaurs, those are dinosaurs, so that's kind of the thing there. The other thing is like, birds are like, they said the feathers weigh more than they do. So their bones are super light, except for when you get the ostrich. And ostrich can't fly anyway, so we're going to talk about Mr. Ostrich, shall we? Don't talk about me like that. So here's this one. Here's this. Open his mouth. It's like, hi. Hi. Yes, I made Stitch before too. That's always fun. But here we're going to make his tongue. Got to insert his tongue. Now his tongue is there. Insert the tongue and make it so that it stays. So there's that. It says, ha. Yeah, people like Stitch. They like Stitch. I may just make a Stitch tonight. Who knows? I probably should have made a Stitch already. Okay, but alright. So let's see. Well, let me the thing is, the one that sells, the one that people like, are the glow in the dark ones. The ones that are super cool. So here's that's that. Alright, so I'm going to start working on the gremlin, and I might just make a Stitch. I mean, who knows? You know, it's like I'm just thinking about it. It's like it was fun to make 626, but then again, I don't know, because I mean maybe people don't like it. That's the thing. See, it's like you have to do something where it's not the year where people like it and stuff. You know, you gotta do past that. You gotta do one when it's not that time. You know, because when people have like something they're overwhelmed with or they're kind of bombarded by, what ends up happening is that they get what's that word? Tired of it. You know, so without getting tired of something, let's go ahead and just finish this guy up here. Just make sure his mouth is complete. Mouth is complete. He has his tongue. See, that's the thing. See, I'm starting to like love it because the more time you spend on any sculpture, the more time it's like if you're making something, right, like making a world famous piece or something, what you're doing is that you're kind of giving your time to it, right? And that's why this is like this beats the AI because the AI has no story to tell. So as I'm making this thing here, the AI could just spit this out in 1 second, but not necessarily can't do it with the tape. But me, as I'm doing this, I'm just sitting here talking and thinking about stuff. This is the tongue. Alright, there's that. We're going to fold up the tongue so that it fits inside of his mouth. Because this tongue has to fit inside of his mouth. Alright? And let's do that. Because if it doesn't, then it's going to be one of those things that, it's going to be incomplete. So there, and there, there, and there. So there it goes. His tongue is now inside of his mouth. It's like life is such interesting. Let me see if I can talk to you about some things real quick, like just chat. So the last couple of days I've been talking about the whole thing with separation anxiety, right, and just dealing with that. And so I made a bunch of videos just kind of dealing with. So it's like I'm not specifically just addressing that one thing. I just kind of take you on my day as I do stuff, right? And so when I do that, that brings you on a journey with me. So you're not just like hearing me talk to you and rant about stuff. You're actually watching me as I do something. And so because of that, this is one of those things where I just really appreciate every day looking forward to just leaving a video and talking to you, right? So my thing has been, just dealing with the fact that my kids are away for some time, the fact that they're, they're becoming of age where they're gonna have to, make decisions and go out into the world and stuff, because those of you who don't know, we homeschool our kids, and we've been homeschooling them since they were little kids, right? So, I mean, not that they don't have, we always talk about the whole socialization thing about homeschooling, like that's the only problem that people always have with homeschooling, but that's one of the things I have a problem with homeschooling was that the bully factor. You don't have a bully, that you have when you go to school that you kind of outgrow or you fight with on your own. I have to take them to the principal's office and deal with. No, you don't have that because your bullies are your sisters or your brothers or whatever, That's the kind of bully, and those people don't ever leave you because they're your family. So, for the most part, though, when it comes to just the whole mindset of bully, people talk about the whole socialization aspect, like they don't go out in public and stuff. My thought was that are they gonna have the wherewithal? I was watching this video about common sense. Are they gonna have the common sense to see through stuff? I remember this things popping in my head, and everything you can't say, everything you think. You gotta temper it and be wise what you say because some things not worthy of being mentioned. So here he goes. He got his mouth. He's got his tongue, right? And he's got his tongue. He can open his mouth, and his tongue can pop out. Go like this. He's like this. Got his tongue right here. So he got his tongue. Yeah, paper mache. Once you do that, paper mache. So what happens is, so this is not paper mache. Remember that. This is not. This is masking tape. I have that. And his mouth is in there. So it's going on with the cats and the dogs. All right. So this is me continue to work on this thing. I'm about to stop and work on something else. So here's that. Right, so here's that. So now he has his tongue done. All he needs is his eyes and his paint job, and then he will be complete. As opposed to complete. Because artists, we never finish anything. We just continue to work on it, and that's what happens. I don't know why he has. Oh, I know. Okay, I have to give him his ridge on his back. His ridge down his back, and then there he is. Right. So you have that. His ridge. Okay, 44. So I'm going to start working on this. By the time I hit the 1 hour mark, I'm going to stop and continue working at home. But right now we're at the 44 minute mark. So let's see how we do this here real quick. This is again, I enjoy doing this. I enjoy sculpting people like this. You know, this is one of those things we just sit down and make people. This is really cool too right there. Make sure his mouth stays closed. This has to sit under. I should put like a little tab so it sits under his lip, his tongue, so that doesn't, you know, it's one of those things like you don't know he has it until he hits you in the face with it. Like kind of thing. So this one here is officially done until I give it the paint job. So boom, I'm gonna put him right here, there, put him right there, yeah, right here. Put him right here by this bag, so you can see him for the whole time I was working on number 2. There, right there. Okay. Now next one here is my next one I'm gonna work on. This here is a gremlin. I actually have a fire belly gremlin at home, and like I was talking to you before, you know, those of you who heard it, was that I have a hard time parting with my sculptures. Why? It's because they become part of me when I make them. So, I'm gonna make this nice sweet gremlin. This is gonna be the gremlin here. You can see right here. This is what I'm gonna work on. So this is like a gremlin because gremlins are copyright under. Well, actually, they're not really copyright. The movie is copyright because gremlins belongs to all of us. All right. It's like saying troll or gnome or something, you know? It belongs to them, belongs to all of us. Alright, let's do this. Can't make him too big. What the heck? The bells! Okay, so this one here. You know, I usually start off with the head. So let's start off with the head. I can't make this too big. Alright, enough talk. Enough talk, let's fight. Let's go. So this is how I do it. You gotta figure out how you want to make it the things to grow, and you have to kind of make your different patterns, and you have to be confident with the tape. There's no second guessing when you're working with tape. You have to know what you want to do. You have to start with the mindset of what you want to accomplish. And when you do that, you already know, you see it in your head of what you want to do. So the 13 minutes I have left, I'm going to go ahead and construct for you in the very presence of Gremlin, because this is part of my heart and soul. Hopefully by the time I get done with this, you'll be able to see a creature that you've never seen before. Well, I mean, you kind of see what it's going to look like right there, but you understand what I'm saying. I think you understand what I'm saying. So okay, so let's go do that. Let's first and foremost, let's go. Let's go. Yes, I have stock with the company, with 3M. Yes, one day I hope to be sponsored by 3M. That would be great. It would be a great goal. I would love to have that because you know what? I only buy 3M tape, okay, which is a Scotch brand. Contractor grade tape. Very expensive brand. Not very expensive, but it's like it's high end. It's not the 99-cent store brand. So when you make something cool. Yep, so this is this one. I think that's you. I think it's some kind of like anything. It is or anything. Those bells are, what do you call it, the neighbors. They have a thing, like a good luck neighbor thing, and it rings when the wind blows. That's what those bells are. Uh-huh. This is how it starts. This is how it starts. Are you who you want to be? Okay, this part here too. Alright, so we're learning the best time to do a thing is not early in the morning, because we only get a few people to watch. But we find that it's good in the afternoon. You know, I find that most people, they watch my stuff later. It's like they come and watch it later, which is great. So here's that. This is like the... I put it there, so you can see. Oh, this one here? This one is the biblical. That bell's no joke. Everyone's here to talk. No, we don't. We'll talk anyways. Yap, 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 yap. I have to check the time. Looking at 57. That's the thing, you know. Okay, there's a guy I watch on YouTube. His name is Anomaly, and sometimes he used to set up his camera, or different cameras for different things. So you have to talk to different sets of cameras, like the Facebook, you know. See, I have a TikTok channel, and I was thinking how cool it would be for me to actually do this. I'm actually just taking it live to TikTok, you know, when I do this coming up, you know, because it's like that's one of those things, you know. You know. Okay, so yeah, so this is the thing, right? I got 2 more minutes, and just what I got so far in time. Hey, maybe you can see it. It's gonna bloom now. Yeah. So there's that. All right, cool. Ah, yeah. So that's the thing. Yeah, people, man. They just be talking. So, okay. Then I gotta turn off the Is this? Okay, here. So you have the makings of a girl. That's right. The end result will be look like this when it's done. I have one that's similar to this one, but I don't have that one. The one I have has a big old horn coming out of it. This one won't have it. This one have smaller horns. But I definitely have to get the eye sockets in place. But yeah, so before I go, I want to just make sure you guys see that how close this to what it's trying to be at, like, you know, so as much as possible. And then you'll see that, so you have this one here. It's going to the eye socket. It's going to extend out that way. And then this eye socket out this way. So yeah, so my class is going to be on Monday, on Tuesday. And pretty much it's going to be at the same place. You can check my Eventbrite and my link tree. And you click there and you just find out more stuff about what we're going to do. I would love to have you there so we can see what you guys can do and see how you can learn, you know, learn about this stuff. That's always fun. For the most part, though. It's always fun to be a sculpting artist because you never know what you're going to be able to sculpt. And you're just in the process of just kind of getting this one all ready. It's going to be there. It's going to be there. It's going to be there. Yeah. Tonight, going to be at Monarch, Brooklyn Monarch. Hope to see you there if you can. If you're not able to be there, I wish you all the best. Hope to see you again sometime. At some point, I'm going to do a tour with all my cool stuff, right? Stuff that I like to make. Make sure this is forward facing the eye sockets over. So you're making like a bone structure is what we're doing here, right? But I'm going to end it at when I get the bone structure finished with the sockets. Because at that point, I'm ready for the next part, which is the skinning process. Skinning the bone to the skin. This is all like, you don't have done one, I haven't done an animation. So I might have to do that soon coming up. Yes. Alright, so then let me just go ahead and seal this up so that he doesn't. you hear me? Just listen. Alright folks, I want to thank you so much for watching me with my video today. And then I go and see if I can just, finish this off. So we have, can't be a super huge one, but I have to get them done quick before my time runs out. So yeah, let's see if I can do this. Yeah. Alright folks, I'm gonna thank you so much for being here today. I'm gonna go ahead and call it quits for today. I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of work on more stuff. I want to let you know how things are going. I'll do a little video catch up with you soon. I'll let you know about the day 33 and the things I've learned on day 34. But for the most part, I'm gonna wrap it up here. I want to say God bless you. Tune in again. I promise I have more content for you. God bless you. Have a good night. Alright, so see you tonight in 1 hour at the Brooklyn Monarch. Okay, bye.